All right, hello, Ruckus Maker Nation. It's Danny here, and that's Danny from Better Leaders, Better Schools. You can see my role as the Chief Ruckus Maker. That's all about being an out-of-the-box thinker, right? Being innovative in terms of how we approach leadership so we can make change happen in education. So this is part 2 of 5. I'm talking about your keys to success. What are your keys to success? And the genesis of this video, the point is that about 2, 3 weeks ago, September 2nd, we celebrated, it's mind boggling to think about, we celebrated 6 years, right, of existence at Better Leaders, Better Schools, which is just absolutely fabulous. And I wanted to reflect over the 6 years and what have been the keys to success. And I wrote a post about that, 27 and a half lessons learned. So in part 1, I went over the first 6 lessons. Here in part 2, quickly, we're going to go through 6 more lessons learned and what they mean to me. I hope that you get tons of value from this video. I promise that if you write these keys down, if you start meditating and thinking about them on a regular basis, put them somewhere in your office, in your home, so that you can see the impact of these in your life, I guarantee it's going to lead to life and leadership transformation. All right. So, number 1, in terms of keys to success today, would be there is only one you. Okay. What would the world miss out on if you didn't show up? There is a great mind out there, somebody who is a mentor to me. I enjoy reading his books, that kind of thing. Derek Sivers, he talks about what is ordinary to you is extraordinary to me. And that's essentially what I'm trying to teach in this lesson and key to success as well. You are very unique. You're special. You are uniquely designed, and your voice matters. So, will you hit, go live? Will you hit publish on that article? Will you hit, confidence when you need to speak to your staff and tell them something important, maybe even hard to hear? But there's only one you. And if you weren't here, we would all be missing out. You are a contribution. So that's all I really want to say about this first lesson learned over the last 6 years in terms of my success. And so moving on to number 2, you can't go wrong treating people right. So shout out to my friend. He might be watching on the replay later, but Mitch Weathers, he wrote this down after I said it during a mastermind meeting. And he said, Danny, like, that's a great Danny-ism, right? You can't go wrong treating people right. And reflecting that back to me was just a hugely valuable gift that Mitch gave me. And so I want to share it here too, because at the end of the day, that is a guiding principle of everything I do, whether it's leadership, right? And training leaders to be more effective, or sort of the behind the scenes business operations of Better Leaders, Better Schools. I try to be consistent. I try to offer value and be of service. And by treating people right, no matter what the business case, right, or outcome may be, I find that the results just come along and speak for themselves. So you can't go wrong treating people right. And that's all I have to say about that one. Moving on to the third lesson of 6 I want to teach today. When you start something new, this is like absolutely true. You undervalue what you offer, the value you're creating, you just undervalue it. And so whether you are a school leader, increase your confidence right away. What you're bringing to the table is amazing. If you are a business leader, raise your prices, raise your prices, raise your prices. So not to like, it's not about getting like filthy stinking rich, right? But when I started the mastermind, if you could believe this, if you could believe it, in 2015, you could join the program for $47 a month to get a weekly group coaching experience. That is absolutely bonkers, right? That totally undervalued what leaders get connecting from other school leaders from around the world, discussing education and leadership at a deep level. And that also undervalued what my perspective and all the work I do behind the scenes and for leaders I support, like what I was creating there. Okay, so that was 2015. fast forward to today, it's 250 per month in terms of the membership, and that'll be increasing here in October as well. It hasn't Membership hasn't increased for years. So that's just like behind the scenes how that looked in my life, but that's just because I didn't account for the value I was creating, and I wasn't confident to ask for more, right? And so wherever you find yourself, when you start anything new, just know that's probably the imposter in there somewhere. You are minimizing, or you're just looking at like what you create and you're thinking about it in the wrong way. What you're bringing to the table, it's just like this first one I shared, right? If there's only one you and we're waiting for you to show up and use your voice, that is worth something. Okay, so that's all I want to say about number three. Moving on to number four, focus. The shiny object syndrome is real, and so whether that is social media and all the notifications and the things going on there, whether that's saying, "Hey, I'm committed to doing a project that's focused on vision, and that's it." I really love making choices prior to the chaos of life and all the temptation, everything that's out there, and establishing what the priorities are to say, like, okay, this is my focus. And what I find, so I've hired a new coach. His name's Ron. And he loves to say, now again, a business case, he says making money is boring, making a lot of money is really boring, right? That's really funny to me. But the point he's trying to share there, and I think it's true with leadership too, right? Like strong leadership is boring, really great leadership is really boring. That's because there are things that just work, and then you stick with the system and the plan. And then the point is to execute, 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 be consistent. And what happens is that gets boring. We want something that's new, and we stray from the path, and then the results start to get watered down, or we don't see the fruit of what our hard labor. That's because we've gotten lazy. We got off the path because it's hard to focus. So that's an important one. That's number four. And moving on, number five, be content where you serve. The grass isn't greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. This is important for me to understand, because to be quite honest, for the first 5 years of being in business, I looked at all my peers, right? Folks that are doing stuff in green building architecture, in engineering and stuff. People that own different types of franchise models of restaurants, folks that are lawyers or tax accountants, all these folks that had different types of businesses. I always thought, oh, it would be better to be over there. And again, I think imposter syndrome, resistance, that kind of thing. But finally, I just said, you know what? I love education. I always have. I love educators and school leaders. What would it take in my mindset to reframe it and just say, there is, opportunity and abundance here. There's a really great chance to do something special. And I've finally fully embraced that. And it took me 5 years to stop saying I'd rather be over there, over there, over there, just thinking it would be easier. That's a myth. Again, the imposter just saying, wouldn't it be better if you were over there? That's not true. So the point is to nurture the relationships, nurture the soil, and cultivate that where you find yourself, right? So that's a really important point. And then the last one, this one, is very, very important. We're all a boss, right? Now you might have the title principal or CEO or whatever, but the ultimate boss and employee relationship that you need to focus on is the one between yourself and yourself. So be a good boss to who you are. uh, should extend grace, right? Hold yourself accountable, invest in yourself, right? I think you get the point. So that's all I'm going to share today on the keys to success, part 2 of 5. I'll be coming on live next week to share part 3. And before I go, listen, if one of these ideas really resonated with you, just put in the comments below, wherever you're watching, which one of these keys to success you needed to hear today. All right, this is Danny. Go make a ruckus, and bye for now.